All right, thanks for joining me today. Now you've officially joined me and you can't leave. There's a lot of videos about a lot of different drummers on YouTube. There's, tons about, and not just current hot drummers either, just like older hot drummers as well. Very sexy, handsome drummer man, and women, and whatever. Disclaimer, Danny Carey. Yeah, you can find tons of analysis and reactions and stuff to his playing. Dave Grohl, even stuff like this. Just big iconic figure. And then we go back into like legend territory like Bonham and stuff. But there is a glaring void, which is the lack of content regarding my favorite drummer of all time, who is Jimmy Chamberlain of the Smashing Pumpkins. Now, I've covered a lot of Pumpkins on my channel on a lot of instruments since starting in like 2006, I believe. And so this should come to no surprise to anyone that he's a huge influence of mine. And even listening to my drumming nowadays, like if you go back to watch that Skyrim Secunda. Drum video that I did, it's very Jimmy influenced. But anyway, what I can do and what has not been done on YouTube, to at least my knowledge, haven't come across any decent stuff. Just look at his drumming, analyze it, learn from it, because something I learned and realized pretty early on in life was that, okay, when you have someone that you really look up to, a musician, be it a vocalist, a guitarist, a drummer. Guitarist and drummer being easier to do this with than a vocalist, but you can also do it with that. Is listen to what they sound like, for sure, if you like what they sound, and then try to emulate that. But a very crucial part of emulating their sound, emulating what sounds good, learning how to make sounds that sound good on your guitar and drums, is also to look at what they're doing. Look at the movements they're making. If they're a guitarist, look at how they're holding the pick. Look at where they're picking. Just look at what their playing looks like. And then you try to film yourself playing. Watch yourself play. Compare yourself to what you think looks really cool. Because most of the time, if someone playing a guitar looks really cool and impressive, and this is now from a standpoint where you actually know something about guitar and playing guitar. If someone looks really good and confident and cool at playing guitar, then odds are it most likely sounds good. And this applies to drums as well. If someone looks like they're just having great control, if they have great physique, just a great feel for the instrument, it most likely will sound great as well. So not just listen to your idols, but look at your idols and adapt. So now we're going to look and listen to Jimmy Chamberlain. We're going to start off with a bit of a intro warm-up thing. This isn't really, very in-depth or something. This is, it's a Disarm BBC Live 93 Smash. This is not the original title. What the fuck? Nice going. How did you... let's look at this wonderful zoom out again of this thing. It's like... Whoops! Going up into the upper left corner. No, never mind! Oops! I'm gonna have to eat shit now. I love that. It's sort of like hovered, came back in. It's like have you guys watched Dark Place? It's a great show. When the Dark Place, they zoom in on the miniature of the hospital and in between scenes, and then they zoom in into a window of the miniature hospital to imply that this following scene is taking place in that window. But as they're zooming in, they kind of just they don't know where they're gonna zoom in, so they just zoom in sort of on in between a couple of windows. It's really funny, and that's what this reminded me of. Anyway, we're well on the way here to discuss Jimmy Chamberlain. This clip is from the Viewphoria VHS, later DVD, collection of a lot of Pumpkins performances live during the 93, 94 era. Great quality, I know. Now this song originally on the album has no drums, so this is like a live version of this with drum arrangements with electric arrangements. There's not a lot going on here. Jimmy, his kit sounds phenomenal. His drumming sounds phenomenal. Let's listen to that for a bit. Great kit. He's probably playing Yamaha here as well. Oh my god, fuck off. No, I will not. Can you move this friggin' text? Anyway, so that's the beginning of the song. And those of you who know Jimmy, and to those of you who don't know Jimmy, here's the scoop. Jimmy is often mentioned when it comes to the greatest rock drummers of the 90s, and at this point I think people talk about of all time. And I agree. And one thing that people mention often when it comes to Jimmy is power. He is immensely powerful in his playing. My cats are going nuts. But also, well, okay, that's pretty much it. You don't, typically when you mention Jimmy Chamberlain, you're talking about his power. What he also has is incredible speed, stamina, swing. His swing is just beyond this world. We'll get into that later. But in this clip, pretty much all you can get from Jimmy here is just the power. You can see how he... not very economic of movement here in this clip. He's doing a lot of really hard hits of like raising his arm. I think, or let's see, is he actually here as well? Because what he will play like nowadays is his arms, elbows are very close to his upper body, and he plays with a French grip. I always forget which is French and which is German. Thumbs up is German. Backs of the hands up is French. If I got that reversed again, I'm sorry. I looked this up 2 weeks ago last. But yeah, he plays French for them. Now I gotta fucking look it up. Sorry. Fuck. I was wrong. German grip. This is. How will I remember this? Does anyone have a rule of thumb of just an easy way to remember which is French and which is German? Okay, this is German. French because the thumbs are up because they're going up my asshole because I'm French. So his elbows are close to his body, and then he has his wrists turned like this. Most of the time he plays with the German grip. Backs of the hands pointing upwards like this. And he does a lot of whoosh, whoosh. He does a lot of flicking of the wrist. And his arms don't really levitate a long way from his body. Sort of when he's going into like a tom fills and stuff, just fast rolls, he goes like, he just sort of elevates his arms or his elbows from this position to this position, and then he just like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's awesome. It's a thing of grace to watch. But let's look at what does his elbow say in this old clip. Is the elbows down type of thing something that he's adapted to in later years or not? Let's see. Billy, sure, yeah, nice face, cool. Jimmy, where are you? Ooh, that was a good shot. Well, he actually is now like going nuts. Yeah, he's going all over the place. But also this is like some kind of weird scaled down kit that he's using. There we go. He's looking, yeah, I mean, he's raising the elbows high, but you know. He's looking a little Native American here, I don't know. Oof, that fill, I've been playing that fill a lot everywhere lately. I actually played it on a recording for this doom metal project that I recorded drums for. I played that exact fill like 3 times on that recording, I think. Gorgeous flams and stuff. Anyway, so there we have Jimmy in poor quality, but now we're gonna go to a fantastic live performance, and the reason why this is fantastic is because it's a Smashing Pumpkins live performance from 1994. It's 52 minutes long, and check this out. It's single cam, and for the most part, it's focused on Jimmy. We get these great overhead shots like this for an entire show. Sometimes it zooms into the crowd, sometimes it zooms into the backer Billy's awkward head. No one wants to see Billy's hair. Not even Billy wants to see Billy's hair, as we all know. But yeah, let's just dive into this one. Start from the beginning. We're gonna go through a couple of tracks from this show, from this video, which are of particular interest to me, making this video. And it's gonna start off with Cherub Rock, and the mix is gonna be awkward. At first, you'll hear, but the mix gets better. I think if a German guy comes on stage and goes, "Oh, this is Smashing Pumpkins." Yeah, thank you. Oh. Never mind, did I say awkward mix? I meant great mix, because all you hear is drums, and I mean, that should be every mix ever. But yeah. It's gonna zoom in a bit. Alright, and this is gonna sort itself out in a bit. Bear with me. Now we get the ride. Sound great. Actually, it looks like that could be that's probably a ride, but it could be just a big crash. Fucking cats. I'm gonna skip ahead just the tiniest bit. Well, we don't need the perfect audio right now, because in another minute or so, the mix is gonna even out in this video, so it's fine. But what we can already look at here is his playing. In other words, we can look at his playing more than listen to it a lot. Oh, let's back up a little bit there. Jimmy is also known for not being a great consistent timekeeper in a live setting, but that's fine, or in the studio. He's a terrible click drummer. He said so himself, and I think Billy Corgan as well. But that's beyond the point here. Jimmy is always perfectly in pocket with his own playing, and the rest of the band follows him over the cliff. Whenever he goes over the cliff, the rest of the band is right there with him. And what matters is that Jimmy is in total control of his playing at every time, even when he's like just rushing away, like my cats are. My cats are basically just being Jimmy Chamberlain all over the floor right now. I'm here, the song is me, and then the cats are going, and that's Jimmy. But already some really cool stuff. He does a fill, boom, boom, bam, boom, boom, ba 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 ba. He hits the snare, and the China probably at the same time on the first hit. And a thing I want to bring up immediately right now, so that we can keep this in mind while we're going forward, looking at this video, is that Jimmy, I think, is a great example of a ambidextrous drummer. And just until just now, up until very recently, whenever I think of a drummer being ambidextrous, I think of someone like, Mike Mangini. I think of Alex Rudinger. I think of the drummer equivalent of Michelangelo Badio. The person who's able to play the exact same rhythms with every limb. You can take Mike Mangini, who could play like boo 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 ba 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 ba, and then with his feet, with his right foot boom 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 boom, and with left foot ba 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 ba. Ambidextrous in the sense that they're able to play the exact same rhythms with every limb, regardless of speed, regardless of complexity. But Jimmy here is a wonderful example of being ambidextrous, in that other sense of that he's playing, if you follow along with the cursor here instead of my face, he's playing in the center a lot. He's using this space a lot here. He's playing to the front a lot. He's playing to the right a lot. He's playing to the left a lot. He's even playing to his back a lot. And these cymbals here aren't just for show. He has like a whoops, almost 360 set up here, and it's not for show. During this song alone, it's got like half the song left. We'll get to see a wonderful display of just how ambidextrous he is in using this side of the kit for a certain part of the song, this side of the kit for another one, and then just like it keeps this, you know, just like this central balance of power here. Wow, this is great. I'm already so hyped about this. German grip. Oh, just those the hits, the way he this angle, maybe overstating it or exaggerating that flick a little, but you know, just that calm lift of the elbow, of the arm, the forearm like this, and then a little motion at the wrist, and the crashes just explode. It's so aesthetically pleasing to watch him play. It's, I don't know, dude. There's actually going into like a bit of a forceful, like like a blacksmith's, like this, turning his thumbs up. But that's not very typical of him. But maybe this is also a cool study in how his playing has changed, because this is a moderately young young Jimmy from 1994, and I've been watching a lot of his playing from the very recent years as well. And we're gonna end up in this video. We're gonna end up with some more recent stuff. So we'll get to see how he performs, you know, maybe high here and just in front of tens of thousands of people in his 20s compared to now. But yeah, a lot of force is going into it, a lot of power. And the audio quality will improve in just a second. There we go. We get kick now. Follow along here, because I think that, you know, if a drummer has a lot of cymbals, and this is not like Terry Bozzio levels, lots of cymbals, but you can still see some, if you wish to look at it that way, if you're like on a like rock and roll like Dave Grohl trip of being like, I don't know, Dave Grohl, whatever. I thought of him with Queens of the Stone Age, of like a ride, a crash. That's all I need. Who needs more than a kick, a tom, another tom, a snare, and a ride, and a crash, and a hi-hat. Now I'm settled, and that's all good, and that's all cool, and that's all good if you get all those frequencies that you require for the music out of those two cymbals. That's cool. But we do have, this is an auxiliary hi-hat here. No, wait, is it underneath there? Somewhere here he has another hi-hat. So we have a bit, like this is probably a 12, 13 inch, 14, not 12 inch probably. Splash type thing here. China, crash, ride. Damn, look after, keep watch when he hits this. Is this a high? No, it doesn't, I don't fucking know. The image quality is terrible. But at least crash, 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 crash. So at least 4 standard crashes just right here, and then one, here's a China as well. 1, 2, 3 Chinas and stuff. And from, you can look at this setup and be like, who the fuck, like, and then he, like, does he even need that many cymbals? Like, you know, he's just hitting one cymbal anyway. But no, you can look at his playing here and hear that he actually is playing all those cymbals. But not in a way where it's just like flailing and happens to hit one. He's very musical and consistent in how he uses these cymbals, particular cymbals, in the drum arrangement. We'll get to that in the chorus, actually. That has some great like cymbal work. But just now, like looking at him, just use all of his kit. And again, very ambidextrous. He's going from playing this side to front, to center, to the right, to the back, everywhere. Just wonderful. The kick drums are a cool little pattern there, which you can't really hear here, but it's going. Boom, 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 course, this is a lot faster, but still. And he accents those boom with a China hit, with a crash hit, boom, 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 boom. So good. Check out this power move. I love that. And also, speaking of being in pocket with himself and the song and the rest of the band, boom, boom. It's just the tiniest cut back in tempo there, because he's like, he knows he's going sort of off the rails, so he needs to rein it in just the tiniest little baby bit. And look at that. Look at these 3 hits here. Bam, 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 whoosh. And then he reaches for this crash. Wow. So good. Oh, never mind. He ends. Bam, bam. He ends that 3rd hit on that crash. That's insane. That's an insane move. Now he's literally playing to his back as well. Wow. Ah! Check this out. I love that. You go into the 1 of the beat, boom, bam, boom, bam, 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 boom. Not just doing it on the China, bam, bam, but doing a double hit on the China. 1, 2, da, 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 boom, bam, boom, bam, bam, bam. So fucking cool. Is that the first F-bomb I've dropped this video? If it is, then it was worth it. Because, and also, okay, so when people mention Jimmy Chamberlain, drummers mention Jimmy Chamberlain, it's power, and then it's his left foot playing the hi-hat. We'll get into the hi-hat in the next song, but yes, you can already notice that he's playing continuous 8th notes with his foot on the hi-hat throughout this song. You know, leading or adding to the ambidexterity of his playing. Every limb is in constant motion. Not constant as in blast beat like this, but constantly performing and contributing to the music he's playing. Woo! Woo! Oh no, I'm gonna start making those noises now. Hang on, let's catch that bam bam again. The bam bam double China. Fucking gorgeous. Here we go. And a fill. Check this out. What? Oh, this time he actually, the first time that came in before the first verse, he played that the roll on the snare with his right hand, but he just played 1 hit on the China. Boom. Like, bam, 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 boom. Bam, 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 boom. But here he goes, bam, 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 bam. Fuck. Ooh, it's dusty. That's fast, dude. And then he, bam, 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 and then he does the crash as well. Here's what I'm fucking, this power, because it's not, you know, when we think of speed now, a lot of people, in terms of drumming, it's easy to just go fast death metal on YouTube. And then we look at fast death metal kid number 2 million go. And who fucking cares? I don't care. It looks lame, and it probably sounds lame. And that's another thing. What I said at the beginning of this is that, you know, if you look up to someone's playing, then you listen to it, but also look at it. Is it looking cool? None of these drummers look cool while they're playing. So that doesn't sound cool to me either, because it equates to not cool. It needs to look cool, sound cool, then it's cool. This looks cool, sounds cool, is cool. And in the context of also looking cool, is fast. And that's why this fast stuff is cool. And not every fast stuff is cool. Let's look at that bam, 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 bam again. Oh, this one. Oh, I want to make a movie out of that moment. Awesome. Here we go, Phil. What? He doesn't fucking... So he goes from bam, 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 with both hands, bam, 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 to a crash with both hands, bam, 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 and they're not right next to. He plays that fill on the snare and the China, and he doesn't go for that crash and that little guy over there. He goes for these two, that one and this one. Is he crazy? Is he out of his mind? What the fuck? That's the sort of move where at my age, if I do that, I'm gonna have that's like a 60% chance of me just ripping a muscle here or a tendon or something. In other words, I'm gonna feel that move later, so I'm probably not gonna opt for that move. I'm gonna do a and then like I'm gonna go for a crash, which I can reach with the same arm placement as I'm playing the fiddle with. Bam, 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 bam. Sort of like this. I'm not bam, 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 bam. Woof. Not a Superman pose. Wow. Nuts. Ha. No, don't leave us. Oh, I'm good. We're back in there. Here we can hear that boom, boom, boom. Now we're in a really cool. This is like the boom, what is this? A bridge? It's past the chorus part, where he does a cool thing with the Chinas as part of the song. Boom, ba, 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 boom, ba, ba, bam, 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 being the Chinas. Check it out. See, he's a musician. He's not just a drummer. Drummers aren't just drummers. Drummers are musicians. Drum parts are arrangements, and drummers are responsible of creating interesting arrangements in music. Okay? We can't just go wham bam 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 bam. You can, but fuck you. Be a musician, not just a drum man. Boom boom bum. Bam bam. China's. That friggin' power with the crashes. Fuck me. Nice. Nice. Going. I can't do it on the floor, but with the kick. Oh, now. Another power move. And then the mix was ruined because now they actually let the rest of the band into the mix as well. It's fine. The drums are still prominent, but they're not going to be as clear as they have been up to this point. But we're gonna make do. That was a good view of that snare roll that he does. Because, okay, third Jimmyism. Okay, power, that's one. Hi-hat foot, that's two. And then these single stroke snare rolls. That's another Jimmy thing. Starting from, on the first Pumpkins album already. Throughout every Pumpkins album, there's been a lot of these rolls. Just single stroke snare rolls and going around the kit as well. Obviously not the snare, but on the toms as well. With these gorgeous accents, rim shots, just nuance there. And here we see what the fuck he's actually doing with his right arm. Because that's the one doing the accents. The left hand is just doing a steady, right? Bit of an awkward position here. I mean, my snare isn't typically in my lap. But the right hand's going because he needs to. He's hitting like every other hit is on the rim. Yeah, that's actually how I played as well. Cool. He does a Portnoy fill with a single pedal. Snare, kick, tom, kick. Tom tom kick kick pow. What the? How did he do that? Rewind. Ha. What is wrong with you, Jimmy? Why are you so awesome? That's a splash. We don't need this much, Billy. Come on. Take it down, Billy. Back to the China part. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Gorgeous. Yes! Yes! He does it. On the studio version of the song, there's a... the bass line goes boo doo 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 doo, and then it does a move sort of like doo 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 doo. So what Jimmy does at this exact part of that song is he follows that doo 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 with the kick and the China. He goes doo 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 doo, just one time. And here he does it as well, but this is like 4 times faster, so really cool to see him do that. Ooh, he's so crazy. Next, I think. Another tiny dip in the tempo to bring it down. Oh. Get out of here, Jimmy. And now, if I remember correctly, Jimmy takes off his opulent Fashion Week shirt and strips down to a ridiculously oversized t-shirt. Welcome to 1994. So this is the last appearance of this shirt as video, sadly. But we'll get to see his rippling, muscular figure underneath that fucking ocean of a t-shirt he's wearing underneath. So that's good. Yeah, take it off. And also this next song is the next I want to talk about. We're not going to go through the entire song, but we're going to look at a couple of things in his playing in this next song and then move on.
Sorry you have to be so far away.
What are you drinking? He's probably drinking water. It looks like a clear liquid. Take it off! Yes! There we go. Look at that figure. Oh, look at those arms. No wonder he can do so. Look at that, just man. We got thick wrists, forearms, a lot of muscles here, there as well. I don't know what the muscles there are called, but in other words, there's a lot of factory here behind all those movements that he's doing. So I don't know which came first, his drumming or his figure. They probably complement each other. And for sure he's working out, and especially nowadays, he's insanely ripped. He's like 60 years old, and he's more ripped than most people will ever be. But yeah, anyway, I oops on a tangent. Yeah, this is perfect actually, because now it wasn't up until I think sometime during last year that I really sat down and analyzed the sound of that bounce in Jimmy's playing. Boom, boom. And this song being a perfect example, this song being Rocket off of the Siamese Dream album. We have a drum beat that goes like this. This is the snare, and this is the ride, and this foot is the kick drum, and this foot is underneath me, but it's just going to be, you can hear the eighth notes in your head. So we have snare, 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 boom, boom, snare, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, And there's a particular bounce and lightness to the way Jimmy's playing sounds. And swing. Swing is the great term, the great word for it. And it wasn't up until recently, as I said, that I discovered where the epicenter of the swing is. And it is because most of us drummers, most of us rock drummers, come on, friggin' cats. Okay, so if we're a right-handed drummer, so we're always most of the time leading with our right hands, unless we want to be show-offy and pathetic. Be like, yeah, check this out. I can play eighth notes with my left hand. Boo, boo, ba, boo, boo, boo. No one cares. But then most of the time, our right hand is the hand that's playing the fastest notes in the drum beat. So we take a simple little beat like this. Yeah, that's our right hand doing the fastest notes. Or we take still, our right hand's doing most of the work here, note-wise, quantity-wise. And then even if we start getting more busy with our left hand, whatever, it's still going to be this hand that's like leading, unless you're playing Lagrange by ZZ Top. And like, I don't know what genre of blues that is or whatever, but that is the only drumming style that I can think of where the snare hand, the left hand, is actually the playing the more notes, right? Otherwise, it's always the cymbal hand that's doing most of the notes. So that leads me and a lot of other drummers to think that, okay, so that means that most of the effort also has to go into the hand that plays the most notes. And then we develop the molar technique, right? And then we figure out ways to be as loud as possible with this hand, with as little movement as possible. And because, yada, yada, yada. And it wasn't until studying Jimmy's playing in this video here, for instance, that I realized that, wait, the volume of the ride here is very low. He's mostly playing up. And meaning that when he plays the ride cymbal, he doesn't hammer into it and sit on it. He's actually playing up. So most of the time his stick is sitting up here and it just briefly taps the ride. And it's really awkward to play in this position, but right? So well, just look at it here. This area. He does a lot of lifting. It's like he's dipping his toes into the ride and then getting out. It's cold water. So the balance of this groove, of this swing, is actually rooted in the combined effort of this right hand just dipping into the ride and this left foot going, this left foot, not his other left foot, going with the hi-hat. And I dare say that if we just take the mix of the ride and the hi-hat during this beat, I'd say that 80% of, or at least 50% of it is the hi-hat, because his hand is doing maybe, I don't know, like 15% power, 20% power or something, intensity, whereas his left foot is going at like 80. So the balance is left foot hi-hat, ride cymbal like this. And this is that, I'm going on a tangent here, but I hope someone's following. This is that interval that's required for things to have this certain special bounce. And if you'd be someone like Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine, who's a great drummer, but the opposite of Jimmy Chamberlain, then you'd be playing really down. You'd be crashing that, right? Right? And there's no way, no matter how many feet you'd have stomping on the hi-hat, there's no way that would cut through in any way in the mix and in the groove, right? Because it's all very wash, 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 wash. It's very right hand dominant. But anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, but yeah, keep that in mind here. Look at the way he's playing the ride and what the hi-hat's doing, and then listen for it. Listen for that bounce. Listen for the swing, and you'll hear it, as well as see it. Very much, he's always like on the ones, on the even beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right? Those are the eighth notes that the right is playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's almost as if on the ones and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, he's already up here again. It's really interesting. Oh, cool. More of those double hits on the he's like leading into the crash hits. Boom boom bam 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 boom bam boom 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 bam 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 boom bam bam boom bam 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 boom. It's so good. So look at that again. That's also something I do all the time when I'm playing drums. Bam, boom. Okay, we're getting up there in video length already. I don't know, maybe we'll just spend the time this video looking at this performance, but that was Rocket, and what we want to go to now is Geek USA. Right here. Okay, Geek USA is crazy, insane drum track, live tempo 150%, Jimmy nuts, but sadly the mix in this one isn't great, so you can't really hear what's going on. And the angle, the video is like being a little shaky and weird and going here and there. Except for one part. Oh yeah, there we go. It actually coincides with the breakdown. Again, I have never in my life, and this is someone who has been studying this man intently for almost 30 years now, I have never heard or seen him fall out of time within himself, within his own playing. As I said, he's always perfect. Every hit is always perfectly in pocket. It's amazing. He just went from to lowering the tempo and lowering the intensity and changing up everything, and he's instantly locked in the pocket. He's playing very bare here, very exposed. You can hear the rides, you can hear the toms, you can hear the hi-hat, the kick, the rim click, and nothing is wavering. Nothing is even a millisecond off. How he does it, I don't know. It's just being so in tune with what you're doing and just being completely giving your senses into drumming, which is the best part about drumming, really, is you have to feel the instrument. You have to feel every vibration that goes up your body. and just live with it and go with that. Otherwise, you don't. It sucks. Let's check out the shift in intensity again. Just like that. It's like he's been playing this for the past 40 minutes. That's a cool angle. Look at the size of this t-shirt. Look at that sleeve. What the This isn't a t-shirt anymore. It's beyond. Actually, I did a bit of a mixed grip there for the ride.
In a dream we are connected. Siamese twins. And the rings.
This is gonna be cool. What? What is he doing? He's doing with the ride. I mean, why not? It's just, that's not typical Jimmy. And I know typical Jimmy. What the fuck? This is like Kratos. This is like Kratos, just God of War, just drumming. This angle, this just towering, hulking mass of just man muscle pounding away at the drum. This reminds me of this angle and what he's doing here. Just reminds me of Gene Hoglan. Just this towering, there's a hulking mass behind the drums, just dominating with just mere physical presence, and with the double chinas naturally. And I mean, where is Jimmy Chamberlain? He's quite not as physically, dare I say, imposing as Gene used to be. I talked about Jimmy's physique already, but this just looks nuts. It's like, I wonder how many horsepowers is Jimmy just exuding right here at this moment? How much force is compressed into his body, just exploding like this at this moment? It's fucking nuts. I just need to see that. I need to watch this again. That's the I bet he has a really hard punch. I bet if you put Jimmy from this era in like a cage with, I don't know, some fighter man, I bet Jimmy's punch would fucking decimate. I want to see. I'm interested now. This is part of my Jimmy power fantasy, is now I imagine him being a boxer. And just look at like the speed of his movements and the power behind it. I'm making my own fan fiction in my head right now. This one. Take this film. If you can tell what's going on underneath the guitar solo there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course with the hi-hat going on underneath. I need to bring out my hi-hat foot. Cats on my socks as well. This is very awkward actually. cat under the chair. Again. So cool. So that's such a good move. Yeah, and then he just goes off the rails completely. The last video we'll look at, or the last clip we'll look at from this show is Silver. What is he wearing a snapback now? He probably goes into like a... Actually, let's make this the last clip. The song is Silverfuck. It's the end of the set, so he's gonna shred. He put on his shredding cap, and I guarantee he's gonna shred. Can't hear it. So much there's so much good Jimmy content from this era out there. Maybe we'll have to return to that, but now we've been in relatively young Jimmy, okay, and then playing just like an insane bomb. Let's look at something that also makes Jimmy great. So this is 11 years later, Jimmy Chamberlain Complex, his solo project. Very different from Smashing Pumpkins, but very great though. So let's listen to a bit of this, and then I'll go into a specific part of this video. It's music. We're gonna go into a song called Fred, and in this clip you can tell I think he's playing 7s, 7/8, because the six look thin and they also sound thin, but the mix is pretty delicious here. Check this out, and I mean, not to mention the playing. Come on. So he just sits on this groove for a while. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get some gorgeous, nice, clear shots, and both visually and sonically, of those blistering rolls. Speaking of which. Welcome to this groove. Okay, here we go. That. Annoyingly, we get a superimposed shot of the guitarist on top of Jimmy right there as he's going through that roll, but at least we can hear it loud and really clear. And that actually helps as a bit of a visual thing, because we don't get a 100% clear view of Jimmy as he's playing it, but we do get a clear view of his arms. And I was saying earlier on, he goes like, this is what he's playing. I'm gonna take it down a little. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't. That's what he's playing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, but check out his movements of his arms because it's all wrist. His forearms stay horizontally like still when he's just elevating them over the toms from the snare. It's a really cool thing to see, right? His forearms stay practically just in the same horizontal position. Oh, and now I gotta close my eyes and just listen to that. Get out of here. Watch, there's another Jimmy power move. A little flam, not over flammy, but yeah, okay, not the most complicated thing in the world, but fast, consistent, and are you hearing that? He's not playing eighth notes with his foot. He's not going bam, 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 bam. He's doing backbeat with his foot. I've never heard him play just the backbeat of a hi-hat. What the hell? Oof, he's just so good. Get out of here. I mean, he's just the greatest. What more can we say? What more can I say? He's just the greatest. And it's, comparing this to what we just watched, that live performance in Germany with the Pumpkins, it's so different because there he's just like, just exploding all over the kit. Where here is just, head down, sweat dripping off his nose. Just completely, just complete economy of movement and stuff. And now we're going to close off with the most recent good quality footage of Jimmy which is this, and this is just insane. This is from 5 years ago now, but still, at this point he's 50 something. He's jacked beyond belief. He gets just more jacked perpetually, apparently, and also he keeps evolving as a drummer. Check it out. This is just nuts. Now he's doing this stuff. I mean, but by saying now he's doing this stuff, for sure there's been an element like this to his playing since forever, but he's over the last 10, 15, 20 years really delved into lighter sticks, lighter cymbals, darker cymbals, clearer tones, less testosterone, and more just like we see here, more elbows to his sides, constrained movements, a lot of this pattern, which I actually just picked up from him as well, and I love it. I use it all the time. It works great over the when you have a tom. Boom. It's just great. And also, look at his physique. What the? What? What is this? What is this? Is there a face on the back of your arm and down your arm as well? What the fuck? This guy survived a heroin overdose, by the way, or shall we say many. several heroin overdoses in the 90s. Like, what an inspiration and an idol. I mean, to get clean off drugs and just not taking a heroin overdose. That's not very, very idle, fucking whatever. But just the fact that the way that he was going, both in his life, drug usage, the way he's playing was, and then you look forward 25 years and he's somehow in better shape than he's ever been, and his playing is more sophisticated and keeps evolving. And it's so good. That's also something I picked up from this video. Watching this video is when you have a fill, if it ends in those last bugga, you can just play them with the right hand instead. And that frees up your left hand to already go for a crash. It looks cool. Again, looks cool and sounds cool, and has a very useful quality to it, just movement wise. To me, this man is just the pinnacle of drumming to me. Not just what he's able to play, but just, for one, he's instantly recognizable. He has a style which is 100% him. He has such an acute ear for tone, for what he wants his drums to sound like, for what he wants his, we gotta look at what he wants his cymbals to sound like. He's not just a meathead hitting things really hard, hitting things very fast. He's a complete musician. Just the aesthetics of his playing, the sonics of it, what he chooses, the way he complements music. That's another story of its own, of how he plays in a band. But I'm hard pressed to think of another drummer that is just as great as him. No, certainly not to me. No one is as great to me as him. What was that, Phil? Oh, cool. It's not overly complicated. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't know what the time signature is. It's a bit of a still. And then it goes on for some measures, and then it goes on. But anyway, so the that's the basic pulse, and even it's a little complicated, but it's not overly complicated. And his playing is just, he does a lot of switch ups in there, just a lot of switch ups, but none of it is just like clown level, like circus act, like a Portnoy switch up, you know. Like a Gavin Harrison. Right, well now we've looked at Jimmy Chamberlain playing loud and fast and hard. Now we're going to look at an hour of him playing quiet and soft and slow. And that's another great part of Jimmy's. I have just shown you some blistering stuff from him. Then he has as much stuff where he's playing very softly, very sparsely, very subduedly, and you can still tell it's him. And the quantity of notes may go down a lot in his playing when he's playing different arrangements, but the quality is always there. It's just amazing. I could do a whole other video of Jimmy playing like the very subdued, slow, chilled out parts, scaled down parts. But I don't think we'll do that just now. But wow, what a deep dive into the greatest drummer on the planet right now and for the past 50-something years. Thank you, Jimmy Chamberlain. I hope that, you know, what a crazy world, because I know for a fact that another video like this of Jimmy doesn't exist on YouTube. So maybe he'll see this one day. I don't know. Maybe he will. I love you, man. Actually, looking at this video now, his the tattoo on his forearm is very prevalent. Let's see now. This one right there. And because I've watched this video so many times over the last 5 years, when I finally got my first tattoos, part of the reason why I wanted a tattoo right here and this one is because as I'm drumming, as I said, I visualize a lot what I want my playing to look like. An integral part of visualizing something to look as good and sound as good as this playing was for there to be a tattoo on this arm, because it's kind of weird. It's not like me being creepy and weird about it and thinking that, oh, if I get the same tattoo, it's not the same tattoo even. But if I get a tattoo there like Jimmy, I'll be as good of a drummer as Jimmy. No, of course I'm not saying that. But it's just, you know, it's just weird how things go.